Hello, photography friends. Eugene Negowiecki with nPhoto here for another fantastic nPhoto live chat for you. That's right. We're going back to back. You might have seen us yesterday. Here we are again, back at our normal time today. So please come on in and let us know that you are here. Say hello and let us know where you are joining us from in the comments. We always love to interact with our audience throughout the live chat. I am so pleased and honored to welcome our guest to you today, Shemika Schatte of Aria Photography out of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. She is a fantastic fine art child portraiture photographer, and we are so excited to say she is one of our brand ambassadors. Hello, Shemika. How are you today?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. The sun is shining finally. So it's a beautiful day today, literally. How about you, Shemika?
I'm doing pretty good too, and the same with Texas. Yesterday was a little cloudy. Thought it was going to rain, but today it's pretty sunny. But then again, that could change. So it could rain by the end of the day. Who knows?
Absolutely. It's been crazy here too. 1 minute's one way, the next is another way. So we're just going to give our audience a second to come on in here again. If you're joining us, if you're seeing us, let us know that you hear us okay. Let us know that everything's okay for you. Let us know where you're coming from, what kind of photography you do, and anything else you'd like to share with us. We're really excited to bring you a wonderful live chat today. As the title suggests, we're going to let you know how your comfort as a photographer might be stifling your creativity. So this will be a nice jump start to you and your business going forward. Is there anything you'd like to add, Shemika, before we get started today?
Just thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here and talk about some creativity.
All right. Well, then let's go ahead and get started. What do you say, Shemika?
I say let's go ahead and do it.
All right. I want to kind of start at the beginning, though, Shemika. And what is it that got you started with photography?
Honestly, my children. I think most mom photographers, that's how we get started, is we get started by taking pictures of our children. I've always loved photography, and I've always used to take my kids to go to like studios to get their pictures taken for Valentine's Day, Easter, things like that. I just always loved the beauty of photography, and I was like, well, I'm already spending all this money getting pictures taken of my children. I might as well try my hand and, try to capture some of their childhood. So that's pretty much how I started. I started when my second child was 5 months old and started taking pictures of him and his brother. So that's pretty much how I got started.
Okay. Was it a love at first sight kind of thing? Did you know immediately when you started this is what you wanted to do, or is it something that just kind of happened on
No,
its own?
whenever I started taking pictures of my kids, and I've always followed other photographers and things like that, and I always like just kind of wondered how they would get the style that they got and would follow them. And then it wasn't until I actually started taking clients that I fell in love with it,
Okay.
and like fell in love where I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. So when I started taking pictures like with of my clients, and then they would like just be so in love with it and be like, oh, thank you so much. That's when I really fell in love with it, because I was just like really like, okay, like I'm giving them like memories, and it was just something about helping other people capture their memories that just sparked my love for photography.
Hmm. And you mentioned style too, and I want to go there now. Your brand, Aria Photography. How would you describe your brand and the style that you have?
So, so I would probably say that my style is more whimsical.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more whimsical, one of a kind, like child portraiture. And I don't know, I was just whimsical, out of the box,
Mm-hmm.
fun, you know, just something different. Like I draw a lot of my inspiration from like museum art.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that my style is more museum art. I do like to add like the oil painting look to my images as well. Vintage, I would say vintage too.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And is it so you have kind of like a fairy tale effect, or it's really ranging from one thing to another?
Yeah, so it just really depends on what my client wants to do.
Okay.
So if my client wants something that's just classic and timeless, then we'll go
Hmm.
for that vintage look.
Okay.
If they want, something for like, so usually it's like the older kids that my clients want, like the more classic, timeless pieces. And then for
Mhm.
the younger ones, they want more of that magical fairy tale type um, images. So it just really depends. If I had to choose which is my favorite, it would probably be more of the fairy tale.
Okay. But you are pretty flexible with your clientele. I know this is sometimes a topic. It depends on what photographer you ask, if they're really strict about sticking to their style or if they're allowing the clients to have a say. You seem to be pretty open to letting clients uh, decide what kind of style they would like with your photography.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Because I feel like, these images aren't going to be on my wall forever. They're going
Hmm.
to be on my clients' walls forever. So why not, give them what they want, what they're going to want to enjoy for generations to come, where they're going to pass it down to their children and their children's children and things like that. So I definitely take into consideration what style they want to go for. Now there are some styles where I'm just like, no, sorry, I don't do that. But usually when my clients are coming to me, they have already looked at my website, Instagram, Facebook. So they just kind of tell me like, oh, I saw this image on your website and I really want to go towards that style. But
Hmm.
I'm not very strict. It's all up to my clients because again, they're going to be keeping these images forever. So this is for their family. So of course I want them to have a say so in what they want for their images.
Yeah. When there is a client, you say it doesn't happen often, but if there is a client where they suggest something that you're not so comfortable with, do you generally just immediately refer them to somebody else, or do you try to find a compromise between you and the client?
I usually try to find a compromise. I usually say, this is not really something that I usually do. We can definitely do something along those lines, but just because of my style, this is what I can offer you. And
Hmm.
if they're just like stuck on, no, I just really want Mickey Mouse and balloons and things like that, then I'm like, well, I'd be happy to refer you to another photographer that I know you would definitely love. You would love their work, you would enjoy it, and I can definitely reach out to them and give you that referral.
Okay. Now, your work is creative, it's whimsical, it's fine art, it's unique for sure. And I wanted to ask you then, how important is it for a photographer to have kind of a unique brand in the business?
So it's very important because we're we're in a very saturated industry. There's a
Hmm.
lot of photographers. So in order to stand out, you're going to have to be unique. You're going to have to you got to give the client something that the next photographer is not going to give them, whether that be with your style of work or just your customer service or the products that you offer.
Hmm.
So it's definitely important to find your style and you, and be unique and do your own thing so you can stand out, because if you're doing what the next photographer next door is doing, what's going to separate you from that photographer? Why would that client choose you over another photographer?
Hmm.
So, and you want to give, and clients are always looking for something just different and unique. So,
Right.
offer them something, whether that even be with like wardrobe, like, because I have a ton of wardrobe so
Hmm.
that my clients can choose from. So it's just, yeah, it's definitely important.
Is there something that photographers can do once they find their style? Is there something they can do to really emphasize that and kind of take advantage of it and build it properly up from there?
Yeah, education.
Hmm.
Um, like I have gone to, before I found the style that is mine today, I've gone to other photographers' workshops.
Hmm.
I have, and even still, I'm always learning still. So I
Hmm.
even still have memberships and subscriptions to like photography sites that
Hmm.
are just, so definitely learning, always learning. Go. go do some online courses, go do some shootouts, go do some workshops, and then that way you can ask questions, get some one-on-one, or even just mentoring. I've even
Mhm.
mentored. I've even like had a mentor that like helped me pretty much finalize like what my style was going to be and everything like that. So definitely just seeking out education, like furthering your education, whether that even be on YouTube. You can even find stuff on YouTube because that's how I started. I started by
Mhm.
watching YouTube videos, and that's like free, and then you just go from there. So
Absolutely. And on your website and your social media, you mention and you emphasize that you capture the story of your clients, and your photography tells their story. What are some things you do to find out a client's story? Like, how do you know what a client's story is?
So there is a process to having a session with me. And that process is, we'll have a phone consultation to make sure that I'm the right photographer for them. And then
Mhm.
during that phone consultation, I kind of just ask them like what they're envisioning for their child session, and I ask them what story do they want to tell for their child. And so they tell me about it, and then once they book, then we have like what I call a design consultation, and that's where we actually design their session. So it's a lot of communicating with my clients. Like I just straight up ask them like, what story do you want to tell? Like what do
Mhm.
you want to capture? What, when you look at your images 5 years from now, what is the story that you want people to see and feel whenever they walk into your house and see this wall art? So I just straight up ask them.
Mhm.
Honestly, so I mean that's the best way to, there's no tiptoeing around it. Just,
Right.
what do you want me to capture?
And
i'm
do they
i'm here to
all?
help.
No, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
Oh
But
no,
do they
you
all? Do they tend to know what to say, or do you sometimes have to kind of work with them to figure it out?
a lot of them don't know.
Yeah.
No, a lot of them don't know. They just know that they want a session, and they know
Hmm.
they want something unique and different. And that's why we go into a pre. So when they call me and we do that phone consultation, usually they don't know. Usually they
Hmm.
don't know what they want. But what I also do is I ask them to tell me about their child. Tell me about their child's personality, favorite color. If they were to walk, if their child was playing by themselves in a room and they were to sneak in and watch what they were doing, what would their child be doing? And as they're telling me all this, I'm writing that down. So whenever they come in for their design consultation, I'm like, so, whenever we talked on the phone, you kind of told me about your daughter, and this is what she does. So here's what I'm kind of thinking for her session in general. And then,
Hmm.
I tell them what I'm thinking, tell them what wardrobe I'm thinking, accessories, set designs, things like that. And then I ask them, like, how does that sound for you? Or, what do you think about this? And then they'll either say yes, or usually when you start giving them ideas pop up in their head. And they're
Hmm.
like, oh, well, what if we do this? Or, things like that. And we just work together. It's more of like a collaboration with my clients.
Okay. And it's like you just said, you are very collaborative. You're welcoming their ideas and their feedback. And so when somebody is interested in using your photography service, you start with the phone call, and then you have this consultation that we just described. And then you're going into the shoot, or maybe can you just walk us through what it's like when somebody wants to use you as their photographer?
Yeah, so like we said, the first step is to have a phone consultation with me. So they have a phone consultation with me. We kind of talk, go over pricing and everything like that, and then after they decide like, yes, this is definitely what I want to do, let's book it. They'll book it. We'll choose a date for their session, and then we'll schedule a time for them to come into the studio and set up that design consultation. Then with that design consultation, I tell them, hey, you can bring your child to this design consultation so your child can get to know me. And then also with the wardrobe, we can try on some different wardrobe, see what exactly we like the best for whatever theme we're going to do. So after that design consultation, and also during that design consultation, I'm showing them products and we're going over
Mm.
pricing and everything like that. But that's also why I like them to come into the studio, because just giving them a pricing list and saying, this is what I have to offer, it doesn't, they're just like, oh, okay, a keepsake box. Okay, don't know what that is. So
Mm.
um, that's why I'm usually just like, come on in, and then they get to pick up the folio box and look at it, get to see the wall art and things like that, and ask more questions. So after their design consultation, the next time they see me is for their session. Now with my sessions, it's a little bit different than other photographers because I do include hair and makeup for children. So
Mm.
and my clients really love that because they literally can just bring their child in like, pajamas if they want to. I've had clients who just bring their kids in pajamas, and they don't have to worry about anything. They don't have to worry about a wardrobe. They don't have to worry about what am I going to do with their hair, or what do, like if we were going to do more of a whimsical, they don't have to worry about how they're going to do the makeup. So whenever they come in for the session, they get to meet my hair and makeup team, and we kind of go back over like what's going to happen for that day. They spend about 2 hours with me, just with hair, makeup, and then the session itself. And so we'll do the session, and their child will get pampered,
Mm.
and we'll get the wardrobe on. The child will feel like a princess or a prince or a pirate or whatever the theme is. And we'll do the session, and then I always have to convince the children to get back out of my wardrobe and tell them I actually have to keep it and they don't get to take it home. But and then they come back one last time to see their images, and that's what I call a portrait reveal. And with their portrait reveal, I usually do a slideshow of all their images, all edited and everything like that. And we'll go through them. They'll watch the slideshow. We'll go through them one by one together, compare images, and then they choose which images they want for their home.
Mm.
And then after that, like we put in their order, and then they come back to get their final product,
Wow.
and that's the whole experience.
Okay. It sounds very fun, though. I have to say, it sounds super fun for the child.
I try to make it fun.
Getting to play dress up, getting the makeup on, getting on the
Right,
theme. Like,
right.
oh, that sounds like a dream for a child. So that's fantastic. We'll get into more of kind of the ordering and the products and stuff a little bit later.
Hmm.
But yeah, so you have a lot of time to really sit down and talk with your clients and figure out what it is that they are looking for uh, as well. Do you then just let your clients kind of inspire you as you're going through your business, or what is it that inspires you to kind of keep going and changing and developing?
Say that again.
What is it that inspires you in your work for photography and things like this? Is it the clients, or is there something else to it?
um, I would say it, because some of the stuff that I do, that I put on my Instagram and stuff, some of that stuff is for me and it's not a client session. Some of
Mhm.
it's just like a way to get my creative outlet going. And so whenever I do things like that, my inspiration comes from um I'm a child at heart, and then I have three small children.
Hmm.
So a lot of the inspiration comes from them playing and me just seeing them play and use their imagination, or a movie that we have watched, or whenever I was a child, I was a avid reader. So a lot of it comes from fairy tales.
Uh-huh.
And so like one creative uh, shoot that I did that was just for me was Rumpelstiltskin. I did a
Mhm.
Rumpelstiltskin, and I did that one because it's one of my favorite stories. So,
Mhm.
and I've like always wanted to do Rumpelstiltskin. So a lot of it comes from fairy tales, uh, museum art pieces.
Mhm.
I'll draw inspiration from that, and sometimes I'll recreate some portraits that I've seen in the museums. Pinterest, sometimes just like scrolling on Pinterest, and I'll just see like it could be like a dress that I see on Pinterest, and I'm like, ooh, I want to do a shoot around that, or
Mhm.
ooh, that's like a really cool concept, and I want to recreate that. As for my client sessions, that inspiration comes from them. that 100% that inspiration comes from them, because I talk with them so much. I'm drawing inspiration from what they're telling me and what they're wanting. But if it's something just for me that I want to do, then it usually comes from a lot of things. Like, for instance, there's one that I'm going to be doing soon, and that inspiration came from mythology.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's just inspiration never is everywhere. So,
Right.
so it's literally everywhere. I could be driving down the street and see something and be like, "Ooh, that would be an awesome shoot. Let me figure out what I can do."
Yeah, well, thank you for answering that, because I know it could be one of those questions. It's like it just comes, but it's so interesting to ask people like yourself who are so creative where it comes from. I just love hearing where it is you take inspiration from. The fact that you can draw it from anywhere and everywhere, essentially. And I'm going to take a risk here, and that is I'm going to rely on my memory. And I have a follow-up question, but I want to hold off on it because I'm going to get to my next question, and that's going to really dig into the meat of our topic for today. And I have a feeling it's going to lead nicely back to where I wanted to.
Okay.
So that question is something else I noticed on your website is that you help photographers step out of their comfort zone and tap into their creativity, as you said. And I love that. I think that I don't need to say this for other pro photographers who are watching us, but it's wonderful because pro photography can be tricky. Generally, the photographers are creative, but with the word professional comes business, and that often limits, creativity, and people, the photographers, feel like they are boxed into a certain set of what their clientele likes. And it can often lead them to feel frustrated and burnt out in their industry. So my question for you then is, how can professional photographers balance that need to stay consistent, but also remain creative?
So it's really funny because, even though you guys see my work and everything like that, but I struggle with that too. I struggle with, the frustration and trying to be in a box.
Mm-hmm.
But what I have learned is, I think with photography, you really need to stay true to you and stay true to who you are. And then your clients and everything will follow. It's kind of like the saying, if you build it, they will come type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So by staying in the box and doing what all the other photographers are doing because you think that's what is working for them. But if you ask those photographers, like say mini sessions, and the child portrait photographer world, mini sessions is a really big thing. I literally don't really care to do mini sessions because most of the like when I say mini sessions, I'm talking about like Easter minis and Valentine's Day minis and things like that. I feel like if I do that, then I'm just trying to do what all the other photographers are doing, and that is where you can get burnt out. Is if you continue to try to do what all the other photographers are doing, or just you see something and you see that it's working for that photographer, then you try to do it, when in reality that photographer could just really enjoy doing that stuff. They could just really enjoy doing, because I know a lot of photographers who are only mini session photographers, and that's because they love doing that. So I would just say, I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Oh, no. I would just kind of say, I don't even remember what I was going to say.
Being true to yourself. I was going to kind of jump in
and
see. Yeah. But so to stay true to yourself, like you said, if you're not somebody who likes to do mini sessions, if you don't, because you feel like you're going to follow the pack,
right,
then
that's not going to, right. And then if you're doing the mini session because you saw someone else doing it, you're not really being creative. So even if you are going to do a mini session because you like that theme or something, try to make it your own. Put something in it where, like, don't do exactly that setup. Like, put yourself in there. And that's how you can kind of add your creativity to it and still be true to yourself. And then also, a client could see that and be like, oh, well, I really like this setup, or I really like what this person is offering, or, things like that. But, yeah, I hope that answered that question.
Yeah, it does. And I want to go to where I was going to, this part before I remembered. And the other thing too, I think, is how often are you doing shoots for yourself compared to doing shoots for clients? Because I think another problem is photographers get too caught up in only doing stuff for clients, right? And that can kind of maybe
Mm.
dictate, again, their creativity is more dictated by then their clientele and their audience. So how, because you mentioned you do it photos for yourself and you do them rather frequently. How often are you kind of doing photo shoots for yourself as opposed to those for clients?
So it just honestly it depends on a couple of things. It depends on like the slow months. I'll tend
Mm-hmm.
to do a shoot for myself on the slow months because I can really take my time and create something. Or if I'm feeling burnt out. So if
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling burnt out and I'm feeling like I'm just constantly doing like repeat like repeating sessions over and over, or I just need to, or if I'm feeling stuck, that's when I'll do something for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like whenever I'm stuck or feeling burnt out or anything like that, then that's kind of like my brain saying, "Hey, let's do a create. Let's get away from all of that and kind of do a creative outlet type thing." So
Yeah.
I definitely will tell like photographers, um, if you're feeling burnt out, you'll have to do it for yourself. Especially
Mm-hmm.
because if you're a photographer, you're obviously doing it because you love it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're doing it because this is something you love to do, and there's nothing wrong with doing things for yourself and then posting that on your page, like, because who knows, you could do something for yourself and a client could really love it and ask you to do it for them. So yeah, so I do it whenever, like right now, for instance, the next one that I'm doing for myself that's based off of mythology.
Mm-hmm.
That's because I'm feeling burnt out or I'm feeling
Okay.
um like I need something more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm gonna be doing this next set that I'm gonna be doing.
Okay. And forgive me for asking the obvious, but that helps when you feel like you are burnt out, when you have the moment to pause and do a creative outlet. That helps you to feel more invigorated. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
definitely, definitely.
Okay.
It makes me more excited about my work again. Like, it makes me feel like, okay, yeah, I'm excited again. I got that flame again.
Hmm.
So
Absolutely. And Malia in the audience says, "Yes, this is me. When she's bogged down with client work, she needs to get out and do something for herself. She doesn't really have a chance to, but she needs to. And I think we're talking about. There's not much more to say about it, but it's an important point that I think is sometimes overlooked. Again, photographers can feel like they have to cram every minute with paying clients. That it takes away
right.
from their own love of it and their own joy of it. And let us know in the comments if you have a similar approach to Shamika, if you're feeling burnt out, or if you feel like your creativity is kind of fizzling, or what it is that you do when you have a moment when you're feeling burnt out, or you feel like your creativity is kind of slipping. Because then again, not to state an obvious question, you say a lot of things that you will do in a creative session like that can then transfer over into future client work, and people will see it on Instagram or social media and suggest, hey, I would like to do that too. And this kind of goes back to what I was talking about earlier with the branding. And I want to ask you about it now too, with social media and everything. Like, how important is it? And we're seeing it now a little bit, but how important is it for photographers to be utilizing social media and to be posting on there? And again, more so, even things that they might be doing that are not necessarily client projects. Um,
First I want to say, hey Malia, hey girl, hey. She's here, and she's
okay.
yeah, she's in the Dallas Fort Worth area. She's a wedding photographer, so I
Mhm.
know her. Um, so I just want to say hi to her.
No
Um,
problem. No problem.
so unfortunately, it is very important to.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it is because another thing that I know, because I hear other photographers telling me this all the time, is they struggle with social media presence. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, in the time that we're in, you have to have
Mhm.
one. So
Okay.
whether that's you just posting in your stories on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, but it's Very, very important because that's where you're going to, these days, that's where you're going to get a lot of your clientele. And also, if you're posting and being consistent somehow. Now, see, I don't always post on my news feed, but I will post in my stories.
Mhm.
So that way I'm still being seen.
Mhm.
And I had to learn this. Like it wasn't it wasn't like, I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna do this today. I had to learn it from someone else because I was just very frustrated. But you have to have a social media presence just because so say like somebody says they're looking for a photographer and somebody puts your name down and puts your business down and they go to try to see your work and you don't have anything on Instagram, social media, or
Mhm.
Instagram, Facebook, or anything like that, that's a client that you could have missed out on. And then also, if you're doing things for yourself and you're just showing behind the scenes, clients love behind the scenes. They like love to see behind the scenes because they love to see you in action. They love to see what it's going to look like if they were actually to have a session with you. So they
Mhm.
like to see behind the scenes. But also, like when you're doing things for yourself, that shows your client that you can be creative. They can come to
Mhm.
you with an idea and you can execute it. So even just putting your own creative shoots that you did for yourself on social media, that's important too. I will say, don't put anything on social media that you don't want to do. So if you do first birthdays, but you really don't care to do them, don't put them on your social media because if you put it on your social media, that's what people are going to ask you for.
Mhm.
So I had to learn that too. Um, I did a couple of weddings and I didn't really care to do weddings. Uh, but whenever I put them on there, I had like an influx of wedding inquiries, and I'm just like,
Mhm.
oh, okay. But yeah, so having a social media presence like I said is very important just because clients can go there and they're going to scroll, they're going to keep scrolling and looking at everything because they want to see what you can do. So if you have one or two pictures there, or for instance, say somebody puts your name down but it's your name and not your business, and they go to your profile and you don't have your business like attached to your profile, like how mine says owner of Aria Rose Photography, like they're gonna not know how to see your work.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
yeah, so you definitely have to make sure your business is attached to your personal profile because if anybody tags you, and you don't always know when people tag you because they might tag you in a group that you're not in.
Mhm.
So, but if a person goes to your page to like, oh, I want to see what this person's work look like, and they can't find it, then you miss out. If
Mhm.
you, and then also you also, even though social media is really big right now, I still highly believe in having a website because there's still a lot of people who don't have social media. So how else are they going to find your work? They're going to have to go to your website. So you just need all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like how you said how you were talking about what you're posting and that you shouldn't post something that you might not want to do. But that doesn't mean you don't have to do it. It
No, that
just
doesn't
means
mean
that you
that you
don't.
don't have to do it, but if you don't
Right.
want to do it, and if you don't want to, if that's not what you want to be booked for, then I wouldn't
Mhm.
put it on your social media.
Right. And that's a
Like you
great
can still do
way.
it.
Yeah, and I'm pointing that out for it's a way that the photographer can keep control of their own brand. So again, with any
Right.
given client that comes in, they say they want to do something a little off the wall, they can do it, and they don't have to feel like they have to then post it.
Right.
So
Exactly.
that's really cool, and it's again just a reminder that photographers are at the end of the day still in control of their own brand.
Yeah, because
Um,
I do first birthdays. I just don't post it.
right. Okay. Okay. But yeah, as you say, social media it's a very important thing nowadays to stay
Mm.
visible. And you gave so many great tips about that. The behind the scenes, I really like that as well. Yeah, people like to peek behind the curtain, so to speak.
Yes. Well, because well, if you think about it, we're nosy. We're nosy. We want to know what everybody's
Yeah.
doing. That's why there's social media.
It's,
So
yeah. And it's
that's
so popular.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so social media is the new word of mouth.
Hmm.
So that's why you have to have one. That's why I said
Hmm.
unfortunately, because gone are the
Yeah.
days where people could just Google you and be
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, this is a photographer, let me Google. Now it's all social media and it's word of mouth, and people want to they want to know you. So also I will say, your stories, you don't have to post like a shoot that you're doing, because
Mm-hmm.
my stories on my Instagram and stuff, it could be just what I'm doing with my kids that day,
Okay.
or
Yeah.
I could be at the zoo and I'm like, oh, we're at the zoo today. They want to know that you're a real person. They want to
Right.
that, and that's also how you connect with your clients. Like, by the time they come to you and book with you, if they've been following you on social media, they feel like they know you. So it's a lot easier for them to, talk with you and things like that. So, I don't, on my my feed, I don't post like personal like pictures or anything like that. That's all work. But if they were to go look at my stories, it's me and my daughter, like, playing around, or that my kids could be doing something funny, and I'll post
Mm-hmm.
that, and I'm like, can anybody relate? Or toddler life, or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can be very personable on there, and then they feel like they know you. So, and people want to book who they know. So that's another
Definitely.
tip.
That's a good point. Yeah. And we have just posted a link to Shamika's website, Aria Rose Photography. It's also in the description of the event, along with her Facebook and Instagram. I highly recommend you check that out when we're done, of course. Don't leave now. But when we're done with the chat, check out her platform, see what she does. It's really wonderful stuff. She has such great tips here for using social media properly. I'm going to take a little bit of a turn here, Shamika, and we are so proud that you are an ambassador of ours at nPhoto. But I want to go back to the start of it all. And what was it about us at nPhoto that made you want to try us out and then continue to use us? And how did you find us as well?
So I actually found you guys on. I'm part of a lot of photography groups, and
Mm-hmm.
I found you guys because I was looking to switch printing labs, because I was just
Mm-hmm.
having so many problems with my printing labs, and then also I wanted something as unique as my style.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody just put, like, somebody was looking for printing labs, and a lot of the printing labs that other people um, named. Sorry. It's okay. So one of my friends just messaged me. It's Aria Rose Photography. So she was like, "Wait, okay." But anyways, so what happened was, there was a bunch of people just listing a bunch of printing labs, and a lot of the printing labs they had mentioned I had already tried. So I was like, no. So, and then your guys' name popped up, and I was like, well, let me take a look. Went on your website, and I was like, oh, these are really cool. Like, some of the, like, I really liked, what drew me to you guys were the folio boxes.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually in the album, the acrylic album. So those were my very first two samples that I got from you guys. And then when they got here, I was just like, oh my gosh, these images actually look like what I show my clients. They're not too dark. They don't look weird. Like, I had one printing company who sent me my stuff, and I was just like, this looks really weird. Like, this does not, it was weird. Um, so what I like about you guys is it is true to what I'm showing my clients. So I never have to worry about, if when it gets here, is it going to be true to what my clients see. And then also, even though you guys are in Europe, it's still pretty fast. So I've had one company that I went to, and it just took forever. Like, when I say forever, I'm talking months. So I was just like, okay, yeah, my clients don't want to wait that long.
Mm-hmm.
So um, the shipping is fast, and even when I, like, I tell my clients, like, oh, 2 to 4 weeks, and usually I'll get it within 2 weeks, and my clients are always excited, like, oh, that was fast. So, and then just the quality just in general, like, It's like no other. Ooh, you know what I love? I love about the folio boxes, all the different colors, all the different options, all the different colors, all the different textures, linen. I what really drew me to you guys were velvet and
Mhm.
suede. Yeah, that's a bestseller right there. Velvet and suede because it's something different. So I was really excited, and I have some velvet suede. I have it all. I have it all. I
I
have some
love
with
it.
acrylic, some with velvet, some with suede. So, and so, and then one is leatherette, like this pink one right here. That's leatherette over
Mhm.
there somewhere. So, yeah. So, and
I,
I always get compliments from my clients. They have never had a problem. So,
it's always wonderful to hear. And yeah, the velvet and suede, when we introduced that was really a step up for us. That really knocked it out of the park for us. And yeah, we have over 80 plus, really about 80, over 80
mm,
now, different textile options and color options to choose from. I know that might sound a little overwhelming at first, but don't worry. If you have any trouble, we have experienced staff that will help you to find what you look for. And do yourself and your clients the favor and take your own choices before you show them 80 plus different color
right.
options.
Yeah,
Um,
I have swatches.
mm-hmm,
So, but
mm-hmm,
usually, or my clients will just tell me, well, I trust you, you choose.
uh-huh,
So
yeah.
that's fun for me too, because I usually make it to where it goes with whatever their images are. So,
It really is nice because yeah, it opens it up for clients to be doing so much and to be very unique for each client as well, if they want to be. Again, some photographers like to keep a strict thing, some like to be very open and creative. So if you're somebody who likes to make every client something unique, you have the
mm,
opportunity. Yeah, three different, four
yeah.
different, five different types, and many different colors to choose from. In general, though, about print products, obviously you love them and you offer them. And what is it about print products for you?
Um, I like to offer print products because they are going to last. So what I tell my clients are I give them digitals when they order prints, but I see digitals as an archive. So I see them as an archive, like, back them up, put them on a cloud or whatever. But technology is always changing. So even if you put them on Facebook, like, say you want to go back and look at that picture that a photographer did, like, you have to scroll to find those pictures because you're constantly posting on social media. Or
Mhm.
say you have like a USBs corrupt after a certain amount of time, and then you don't have that image anymore. But if you have it printed, you always have that memory. Every time you look at that portrait on a wall or the coffee table album, like if you're flipping through an album, you you have those memories all over again. It's kind of
Mhm.
like when you smell something and it's like something familiar, and then you get like a rush of all the memories and stuff just from that smell. It's the same thing with looking at portraits. When you look at something, you remember that day, and that's why I try to really make an experience for my clients, because I want them to, whenever they open their folio box and then they pull out these portraits, I want them to like remember it like it was yesterday. So,
Mhm.
and then also, I mean, when our parents and grandparents, like, they used to always have like photo albums and everything. And gone are the days where you would sit around as a family and somebody would flip through an album and say, yeah, so when your mom was this age, like, this is, I remember taking this picture, we were at this place and blah blah blah. So that's why I like prints, because it creates a conversation. It's a conversation piece
Mhm.
about that certain memory and everything like that. So that's why I like prints better than digitals, because digitals, you forget about them. Prints, if it's printed on your wall, on your coffee table, you will never forget about it. You'll never forget that memory.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And your clientele are equally excited about print products, or do you have to talk to them a little bit to get them to understand print products?
It's 50-50. So some of my clients, they do, because I also have a questionnaire that they fill out, and some of them are only interested in digitals, and some are interested in. Some say, no, I want it. I want prints, or I want something really big on my wall.
Mhm.
So it's 50-50. So the ones that are definitely interested in prints. It's just them seeing what they can do. And then the other ones that are interested in digitals, those are the ones that I kind of have to like talk to and talk about why I prefer prints over digitals. But whenever I tell them, like about digitals, once you have it digital, like it's there and then it's gone. But if you have a print, it's there forever. Then they're kind of like, oh yeah, that does make sense. So, and then once you like explain to them why
Mhm.
you prefer prints and give a good explanation, not just be like, well, I just like prints. Like if you give them a good explanation, then they're kind of like, oh, you know what, you're right. Like, because and usually I'll ask them, okay, well, if they've had professional pictures done before, I ask them, well, did you get them printed or did you have them as digital? And if they say that they got them as a digital, I'm like, okay, so where are those pictures now? Or I have a lot of clients when I ask them that, they're like, it's still on a USB. And I'm like, okay, well, when's the last time you plugged that USB into your computer or went to go take that to get printed? I haven't touched it since the photographer gave it to me. And I'm just like, you work so hard for that photo session, don't you work so hard on it and to make sure your family was ready to inquire with that photographer, and you don't have anything to show for it. But if you get imprinted, you can say, yeah, I went to this professional photographer. This was the experience. And if something is funny, like, oh, you know what? I remember this day. This is how my child was acting. And it was funny. Like, I've had kids fart on set. And, like, and the parents will never forget that whenever they look at the images. So, and, I just tell them, that kind of stuff. Usually, whenever they get digitals, they haven't touched it since. So, you know, that's usually what I tell them.
Yeah, and that's unfortunately that's the reality. And
Mm.
I'm even guilty of that. I work in a printing lab for God's sakes, but there's still some photos I would like to print from my phone or camera or whatever. So definitely, yeah, when that opportunity is available, it's always great. And just like
Right.
I'm just like you say, I grew up in that way of the printed out pictures, sitting down, passing them around, reliving the times. So definitely, it's a valuable experience, and it's again, it's just another service in and of itself. And like you say, when you sit down to clients and you explain that, they can start to see that that's just another service that you're offering them, and that you're doing them a favor, that you really are
Right.
doing them a favor. What are some things that you do and other, fine art child portrait photographers can do to maximize? Trying to use my words carefully, but to maximize their sales with their clients.
um so I really think it's just the experience. I don't know, because um I like to show my clients exactly what I'm offering.
Mm-hmm.
So samples. There you go,
Mm-hmm.
right there. Maximize your sales. You have to have samples, because you can't sell something they can't see.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like if somebody was telling you like about a car, just telling you about the car, but you couldn't see it or anything. Would you buy it? Would you, or would you be like, well, what does it look like? Like, you're telling me that it's white, but like, is it dingy? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and then, that's why, again, that's why we do the design consultation, because they might have in their head, because I've had clients come in here before and they were like, well, I was really thinking about an 8x10 for my wall. I'm like, oh, okay. So let me show you what an 8x10 would look like on the wall.
Yes.
So, so then they're just like, oh, okay. Well, then let me see. Or they think that 16x20 is huge. And then I'm like, okay, so this is a 16x20. This is a 20x24. And they'll be like, oh no, I want the 20x24. Yeah. So, um, maximizing your sales, you have to have samples. Because they want to touch it, they want to feel it, they want to see what it looks like, they want to see it hung up on a wall, they want to be able to flip through something. And usually whenever you see clients, they're like, actually, like if they have like the folio box, they're just like touching it, just like, oh, this is nice, like, oh, like, and then because photography is such an investment, they want to know, like, if I'm going to be spending this much with you, I want to make sure this stuff is quality.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody's just going to buy it just by you telling, like, oh, this is so amazing, you're going to love it. But I don't have anything right now to show you, but I know you're going to love it. Right? So yeah, you definitely, in order to maximize your whatever you're going to sell, you need to have a sample. So if you're going to sell now I will say, if you're going to sell like, a 20, like a 30 by 40, you don't really have to have a 30 by 40. Just have another bigger piece
Mm-hmm.
so they can see. Because if you have like the one on the wall right here, that one's 20 by 28. So they see that and then they're just like, okay, well, anything bigger than that is going to be too big, or they might be like, actually, no, I want something bigger. So whatever you're going to sell. So if you're going to say that you're, like my new favorite from you guys are the triplex.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as I knew I was going to want to offer triplex, I ordered a triplex,
Mm-hmm.
because they're going to want to see it. You could tell them whatever, I call it a storyboard. And so if I tell them, yeah, I'm now offering storyboards, what is that? They're going to want to see it. And they're
Mm-hmm.
going to be like, oh, okay, awesome. Yeah, I want that. Or because you guys sell suede and velvet, they could feel it and be like, I want this one, I know I'm going to want this one, and then they look at your pricing and then they're like, or like, so whenever they're looking at your pricing, they may think that they want the smallest package, but then when they
Mm-hmm.
come to you and they see your samples, they're like, well, let me look at the pricing again.
Mm-hmm.
Which collection has this one in it, because this is what
Mm-hmm.
I really want. And then you're like, well, it's this one. And then they're
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, well, I want that one. So maximizing your sales is, you definitely have to have samples. Point blank, period.
Absolutely. And I love the name, the storyboard for the triplex. It's much
Oh
better
yeah.
than triplex. we might
Yeah.
have to talk after the talk. We might need That's
Yeah, I
great.
call it a storyboard because,
That's great.
it's 3 images and you can create a story out of it. So I call it a
Mm-hmm.
storyboard.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, absolutely. Which is what photographers should be doing with it. Yeah, absolutely.
mm,
And of course, totally agree with that. You have to have those samples. And on that note, I just want to let our audience know that, of course, we always have tremendous deals available for you on our sample products. And just a little inside info: stay tight. I got a feeling something big is coming just around the corner. Maybe when we turn the
mm,
calendar. And I have a
oh.
feeling that, particularly Shemika, I think is really going to like it. Has something to do with samples and some other types of products.
Mm,
Just putting it
I'm
out there. Be
excited.
sure to stay tuned as we turn the calendar into the next month. We got something nice in store for you. So yeah, the value of samples cannot be overstated. And once you have a few, you can play them off each other, as Shemika says, to really show the different sizes to your clientele, because they're probably not going to really know until they see it. So it really is a big benefit. Let us know in the comments, what are some things that you like to do to generate discussion about the products and create some more sales opportunities for yourself and for your business. Let us know if you have any questions for us as well, as we
Definitely.
kind of start to wrap it up a little bit here. So we're talking about products. We talked about making yourself tapping into your creativity. Sorry, if you feel like it's starting to go on you, or if you're feeling a little bit burnt out, we've talked about that a little bit. We've gotten to know Shemika a little more and her brand. You mentioned the name of your photography that I probably said
Aria
improperly.
Rose.
And that reminds me, I wanted to ask you about that, because generally you mentioned before how it's so important to connect, your profile with your business and vice versa. And generally photographers will just have, like John Smith photography or something.
Right.
So your name is a little unique. Is there a story behind it? Or where did the name come from?
Aria Rose is my daughter.
Okay.
So yeah, she
Okay.
is my only girl.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
whenever I named her, I wanted something very dainty, very I knew I wanted her middle name to be very vintage,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's why I chose Rose. She's,
Mm-hmm.
my only girl. Like I'm very much of an old soul, vintage soul. So I
Mm-hmm.
just wanted something dainty and vintage. And then Shemika Schatte photography was long to say and not very. And then of course I always have people mispronounce my last name, so I wanted something. And then I'm a child portrait photographer.
Mm-hmm.
So why not name it after my child and it just be just she's also my logo. So in
Mm-hmm.
my
Mm-hmm.
logo there's a I had somebody do a cartoon version of my daughter. So it's a little cartoon version of her holding a rose.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so Aria Rose is my daughter. If you guys follow me on Instagram, Facebook, or anything like that, you will see a lot of her. She loves to model for me, especially when designers send me dresses. It's usually in her size because she will get mad if she doesn't get to wear the dresses. So, yeah, so she that's it's named after her, and then I wanted to create something that she can take over one day. So
Mm-hmm.
she models for it, so um the face to the name.
Okay. It's always struck me as such a beautiful name and a unique one. And so that's why I wanted to ask about it. And I feel even worse now if I mispronounced it. I'm very sorry. Aria Rose Photography.
Mm,
It's really a fantastic name. And it's great to hear the story behind it. Um, I want to kind of close a little bit. I have one more question. It's
okay.
kind of on a philosophical note, but from a professional photography business perspective. And I don't mean to draw attention to the terrible COVID times that we've had, but we've had a rough
Mhm.
year, all of us, especially professional
Right.
photographers. But what is one thing that you feel like you've learned through the course of this, past 12 months? And something that you feel like you've learned to help you to improve your business and your photography kind of going forward.
Um, so with COVID, I mean, it was hard, but what I did during it was just create. I
Mm-hmm.
just continued to create. Um, During that time, I photographed a lot of my daughter, um, but I would say like I learned to tap into my creativity more.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have clients coming in asking me for sessions and me getting. I think honestly, I think COVID is what actually made me be as creative as I am today because I didn't have clients coming in. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to do my
Mm-hmm.
own thing. I had to figure something out so I just wouldn't disappear off of, social media and everything like that. So that's when I started writing down ideas and started really looking for inspiration and things like that. So I would definitely say that COVID helped me tap into my creativity. It helped. I focused more on my editing style and worked more on my editing style, and I that's actually when I started building my own sets
Mm-hmm.
and like creating my own sets. So that's when I started going to craft stores and buying stuff to create my own things because shipping was crazy um, during that time, um, and I just had more time to actually focus on myself, my business, and where I wanted to take it. So I will say that as bad as it was, but when things started opening back up, my clients had been seeing new things from me that they've never seen before. So, and then after that, it just kind of took off, and more clients wanted more of a custom session. So now what I'm mainly doing are custom sessions where I build sets and props and things like that for my clients. So that's another way that I stand out too, is because my clients know not only do I have wardrobe, not only do I have a hair and makeup team, but I also will like create props for their session. So yeah, I definitely learned how to be more creative, how to create things, and how to tap into my creativity and step out of the box.
Absolutely. Wow. Wow. And just keep going. Create, create,
Yes.
create. Is kind of the message that I am getting with that. And now, Shemika, I understand that you were also an educator. You were also teaching other photographers how to be inspired, how to take pictures, and all this kind of stuff. So, where can other photographers find you to learn more and hear more from you?
So they can always message me on Facebook, Instagram, or they can email me. Or if they go onto my website, there's a little section that says for photographers, and they can join my photographers' newsletters where I send out information on editing tutorials, online courses, workshops, and shootouts. So, and this year I'm excited to say that I'll be touring around the U.S. So
Mhm.
I'll be doing like different shootouts and creating just sets, and photographers can come and take pictures of what I set up and everything like that. Workshops are in progress. We're working on it. But yeah, definitely. You can go onto my website, go to the photographer section of the website, and join the newsletter. Or if you, for some reason, can't find it or something, you can just message me on my Aria Rose photography page.
All right. And we have the links to all of, to her website, her social media, Instagram, Facebook, in the description of the event. We've posted the link to the website in the chat as well. Do check it out. Do check out these places that Shemika will be stopping on her tour and other avenues she has to educate you. Thank you so much for joining us today, Shemika. We're going to wrap it up there now. We're at about the time. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
It's been such a pleasure. I'm Eugene Negowiecki with nPhoto saying take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.